Hello everyone, and welcome to my very kind of brief thoughts on The Island, the latest NinjaGo season special collection of episodes, whatever you want to call it. So, usually whenever, a new big content drop for NinjaGo comes out, I want to do, a more collective, cohesive, here are my scripted thoughts kind of video essay on the season. I did that with season 11. I did that with season 12 and 13. I kind of lopped them together in a video. Actually, I rewatched both Prime Empire and Master of the Mountain recently, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe I want to go back and do a solo video on Prime Empire now, because my thoughts have sort of kind of changed on it just slightly. But that may not be for a little while. We'll see. But anyway, today we're talking about The Island, which is interesting because it's only 4 episodes, so it's a special, and it's not. I don't really think of it as season 14. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what the consensus is later. But this is really the reason why I'm not doing my normal kind of scripted thoughts video on this, and I'm just going to kind of ramble on for 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes, is because it's only 4 episodes. There's not really I didn't really think there was much really worth doing a whole typical scripted video. So yes, I know this is like the 3rd or 4th NinjaGo video I've done in a row that's different than my normal style, so I kind of apologize for that. But I'll be getting back to those soon, hopefully. So yeah, for now, I'm just going to be talking about The Island, and it's fine. I think it's totally fine. It's thinking of it like a special. The only other thing we really have to compare it to is Day of the Departed. I suppose you could technically maybe also lop the pilots in there as well, since that originally aired as a special back in January 2011, but yeah, the pilots are kind of the pilots. They're sort of kind of their own thing. They were put together in a special, but they were really meant to be the first 2 episodes of the show. There's a reason we called them the pilots, so is it really a special? Anyway, you understand what I'm saying there. So yeah, the only thing we really have to compare The Island to is Day of the Departed. And in comparison to Day of the Departed, this is so much better than Day of the Departed. I think one of the reasons this is better is because it's not trying to give focus to only one ninja while also giving focus to all the other ninja at the same time. The ninja as a collective group here sort of kind of have focus. Everyone gets a little moment to shine, I feel like. Everyone gets just the tiniest bit of something to do in this hour-long runtime, which is better than Day of the Departed, which was supposed to be all about Cole, but then most of it but the time between the ninja and Day of the Departed was kind of given even attention. The problem is that the special was supposed to be about Cole, so the lack of attention on Cole really harmed that special because it was supposed to be about him, but we barely spent any time with him. And then the writing wasn't just that good. The writing in The Island is much better, and for what it's trying to accomplish, I think it accomplishes what it's trying to accomplish much better than Day of the Departed did. Because honestly, it's not really trying to accomplish much. It's basically just a prologue to the season that we're going to get later this year, season 14, season 15, Seabound, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually kind of partial to Seabound right now. We'll have to see if it lives up to the Skybound legacy lineage. Naming it Seabound, is it worthy of that title? Is it quality enough? But I think it definitely, because it's not really trying to do much, it really does work better. It's like, for what it's trying to do, it does it fine. It's like why do it? If it were sentient, it would say, why would I exist? I exist to introduce these concepts and set up the next season, so that way we can dive right in, and you don't really need to explain that much. There's only just going to be the little, just kind of just like a recap. It's like, oh hey, remember when we went to that island and we learned about Wojira or Wahira, whatever, and there's that storm amulet. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Okay, good, we're good to go. And then that'll be it, which is totally fine. So, So yeah, I mean, it's not really trying to do much. It just has a couple fun character moments. The story is not really that involved. It's a pretty simplistic story. The pacing is maybe this has been a problem since the format change. I feel it's definitely apparent it was apparent in season 11 because of the order in which episodes premiered. It was apparent in season 12 because the ending was very rushed. Season 13 it worked pretty well, and then here I wouldn't say that the pacing is a problem in the island. It's maybe an issue question mark because overall everything flows pretty well. It's just that the first and last episodes, let's see here. The first episode was Uncharted and the Tooth of Warjira. Those two episodes move very fast, but I feel like the fast pacing of those two episodes works, and it's not necessarily bad that they move fast, and then the pacing slows down a little bit in the middle two episodes. I can't remember what the second episode is, but whatever the second episode is named, and then The Gift of Jay. The pacing slows down a bit in those two episodes, which is good, which is fine. It kind of gives you a little bit of time to breathe, and then it picks back up again for the Tooth of Warjira. So I mean, but it works. It doesn't feel like anything is rushed. Maybe. If it wasn't clear by the title of this video, I'm obviously going into spoilers here, but I haven't really done too much of big spoilers yet. I think one thing that was maybe a teensy bit rushed was Ronan, which I love that Ronan's back, and I've seen a lot of complaints about him online about, oh, this isn't in Ronan's character. It's like, yeah, it totally is. This is Ronan. I mean, Ronan is a morally gray character that's always going to do what is in his best interests. Now, after season 5, we did see a lot of him teaming up with the ninja and being on friendlier terms with them, but that was sort of kind of in his best interest at the time to be on friendlier terms with them. Yes, most of the events of Skybound were erased, so this doesn't necessarily count, but a version of Ronan from a timeline that no longer exists did hunt down all the ninja and throw them in jail because it was going to get him lots of money. So Ronan going out to this uncharted island and taking advantage of its indigenous people groups and robbing them of all their riches because it would benefit him, I think is still in line with Ronan, and he's not. And honestly, what he's doing is wrong, obviously, but it's not like he's an evil mastermind. He's really being overly evil or anything. It's not like he's got, and then I will destroy the island, or anything like that. He's not doing that. So I think Ronan was perfectly in character. I think he's definitely annoyed with the ninja because they put a stop to him, but I don't think he's maybe going to hold a grudge about that. I think it's going to be interesting to see if this is set up for Ronan being used next season as well. I really hope that they put him here as a reintroduction to the character, since it has really been so long since he's gotten any of the spotlight. It also explains why he was in the Ninjago City Garden set, so that's nice. It's like, oh, it's nice that they included Ronan, but it's kind of weird that they included Ronan, and then there's all these other random characters in here that don't actually appear in the show. That why weren't these actual characters or something? It's like, why isn't Dareth in here? Why isn't Edna in here or anything? And that's my phone. I apologize. Why? But so it's cool that Ronan's here, but why is he here? Now it makes sense that he's here because he got a spot in the island. So yeah, I really hope that this is their way of reintroducing the character after all of this time, and that he's going to get more screen time very soon. That would be great. So it is one of those things where, give it a couple months, when we know more, maybe this will become a complaint of mine. Because if this is them reintroducing Ronan and they're going to use him more in the near future, then that's great. I don't really have a problem with them using him here. If this is going to be Ronan's only appearance for another long while, and this is not them reintroducing him into the show, and it's just like, we needed a one-off bad guy. I would have rather it would have been Clutch Powers or someone that was doing this racket, and he wanted the amulet, and so he concocts this big scheme to trick the Islanders and eventually steal the amulet. So I would have rather that been Clutch Powers, but if that is the case, again, the Island has just premiered, so we don't really know yet. So we'll have to wait and see. But I have faith in the writing team. They've proven time and time again that they know how to tell good stories. It's just that sometimes they have limitations in their budget of how many episodes they get a season and everything. That's dictated by Lego's budgeting team and not necessarily by the creative team. So they have to work with what they have. And for what they had here, because I think Tommy Andreasen has made it pretty clear that this was that they didn't get as much budget this time around as they would have liked, which is why it's a special rather than a full-on season. So I feel like he has said that on Twitter somewhere. I can't remember, but I think he has. So, looking at that, knowing what limitations they're working with, I think the special is totally fine. It's not the best thing that's ever come out of NinjaGo, but it's far from the worst either. It's perfectly serviceable and good. I enjoy it. Also, I want Zippy now. I want that Zippy the Dragon set. Curse you, NinjaGo. The last time I got a NinjaGo set was the Legacy Bounty, and I needed that for the Dark Island trilogy, which, there'll be a video on Friday about that. That was I'm done getting Ninjago sets because I don't really have room on my shelves anymore, and this needs to be I've got the big iconic things from Ninjago, and I got a set from season 13. I got Chompy the Dragon. It's like, all right, I'm done with Ninjago unless it's good. There's gonna have to be a smaller sized Legacy Skybound set that comes with Nauticon or something for me to get another Ninjago set again. And then Zippy comes on screen, and boys, that he's just a good boy. He's just a big old good boy, and I love Zippy, and looking at his character model in the show, and then looking at the Lego set that translates so well, and I'm just going, I want Zippy the Dragon now, but I still don't really have room for him on my shelf. But it's a good price per part ratio, and so Ninjago, why must your Lego sets be so good now? So I think that's maybe another potential idea I have for a video, is also looking at some of the evolution of the sets, because I've done so much on the story. I think looking at a video looking at some of the sets would definitely be in the cards. That could be interesting. But so the vistas, the animation in these episodes, the environments are gorgeous. I love Wild Brain's attention to detail and their quick animation and stuff. They do a really good job with that. Oh my gosh, the facial animations, especially coming from Jay at the end of the gift, near the end of Gift of Jay, so good. It's like he sees Nia and his eyes kind of bulge out of his head like, it's my Yang, and it's like that's not a line from dialogue from the episode, but you can see that's the expression he has on his face. It's just cute. I loved all the very expressive faces that the characters had, and especially the last two episodes. So that was really good. I love Wild Brain's animation. Honestly, I do. At this point, older Ninjago from the Will Film era definitely at this point I think has the better storytelling chops, because season 11 has its negative points. Season 12 was kind of rushed near the end. Season 13 was great, but and then here we have a special that's not trying to do much because it is a special. So you've kind of had your ups and downs, but so Will Film definitely has had the better storytelling so far, but Wild Brain does such a good job animating stuff. I mean, especially you look back at season 1 and 2 and the fight scenes there, and you look at the fight scenes in season 11, 12, 13. I mean, it's no contest. Wild Brain does such a good job animating the show. I love it. And all the colors and some of the textures and details and stuff. It's great. I love it. So yeah, I enjoyed the island. I'm definitely excited for season 14, 15, Seabound, whatever you want to call it, because I think this was good setup for that. Knowing that Wojira is this real creature now, and and so is she going to wake up at the beginning of next season, or is she going to be a great devourer type thing where you're trying to avoid waking her up, and then she wakes up near the end of the season, and then it's like, all right, we got to stop this monster we've been trying to keep from waking up the entire season. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm very excited that it looks like it's going to be a Nia-centric season. Our girl definitely deserves it. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for the next season. This was a good tee up. This was a good tee up for that. This could have gone. This could have gone so. It could have gone Day of the Departed on us, and it could have been a bad special. But it was fun for what it was trying to do. It was totally serviceable. It was totally fine. Not the greatest thing ever, but not the worst thing ever by far. So I really enjoyed it, and that's really all I have to say on the island. There wasn't really. Ronan being a source of controversy in the community was really the biggest thing I had to comment on. I didn't really have a problem with the story otherwise, and again, I don't really have a problem with Ronan being here as long as it is we're teeing him up to reappear later. So that will be it for this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.